Hi everybody, you're looking at the Dollar Tree wreath I made for the craft fair ideas hop I was in. And today I'm back with the tutorial on how to create this for my number 8th video in my 2018 craft fair shows ideas series. So let's get started. I'm going to move my camera and aim it down. And hopefully my camera is high enough that you can see everything I'm doing. So what I'm going to use today to create this wreath, and it's super simple, so much fun. Not only fantastic for craft fairs, but they're great gifts as well, inexpensive gifts. So I'm using the 9.8 inch foam wreath that I got at the Dollar Tree. These are a super deal. If you guys can find these at your Dollar Tree and you like to create wreaths, pick up a bunch of them, because in the craft stores like Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, even online, I've seen them anywhere from $3 to over $5. For a 9.8 inch wreath, $3 to $5, that's just crazy. So, and sometimes the Dollar Tree carries larger ones. If they ever have the larger ones in, snag them up. So you're going to need one of these. And then I purchased some of this Christmas ribbon, Christmas like plaid ribbon, and I got the 9-foot. And the size is right here, 2.5 inch by 108. Okay, so you need the whole roll of 9 feet, so you want to make sure you get a 9-foot one. And I'm using some of my Studio G gold glitter glue, so you might need some of that. We're also going to use a little jute twine, which I purchased this 3-pack at the Dollar Tree, and I found that where they sell the car things. I also have a Christmas tree ornament with the sentiment Believe. I'm using that in the wreath. I have some Chanel stems, or some people call them pipe cleaners. So I'm basically going to take a whole one and I'm just going to cut it in half, and we're going to be using this to tie our bow. If you don't have these, that's fine. You can also just use craft wire. Okay. And then also from the Dollar Tree, I purchased a stem of the red poinsettias, and it has like a pine cone in it. And then some of these berry greens. So we're going to be using these today. Okay, so let's get started. I've already opened up my ribbon. And like I said, you're going to be using the whole 9 feet of this. I'm going to peel off my label here. And while I'm wrapping my wreath, I'm going to talk to you about my recent craft fair. So I'm going to wrap this ribbon all the way around the wreath, and the best way that I know how to do that is when you go to glue this, instead of gluing it straight, what I do is I kind of angle it a little bit. Since you're going to be wrapping this at an angle, when you start to glue, you want to glue it at an angle. I'm also using hot glue, so be careful when you use hot glue so you don't burn your fingers. So I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue there, and I'm going to wrap it. Okay, so as you can see, this is the top, and I started it at an angle. I'm going to let that dry pretty well, because I'm going to be pulling tight on this ribbon, just to get it to form nice and tight, that there's no gaps or bulges in my ribbon when I do it. Okay, so you're going to wrap around. Hopefully I'm on camera. And you're going to pull when you're doing it. Okay, if you don't pull, you see I have a gap in here already. So you definitely want to pull on it. And wrap it again. And you're just going to wrap it all the way around, pulling on it and making sure that you don't have any big gaps in it along the way. Okay. So my craft fair was a huge success. It was my first year doing a jury show. And for those of you that don't know, haven't been watching what a jury show is, I'm going to post a link below this video so you can see the jury show setup, where I kind of explain it a little more. But basically, if, say I want to put this Christmas wreath in, instead of having my own table, my Christmas wreath goes in a department, the Christmas department, with everybody else's Christmas items. And there's different departments set up in the room throughout the show. So definitely, if you're not sure what it is, check the link below. And it just shows you some photographs and some pictures of the setup. Okay, still wrapping. See how nice and tight this is. Take your time doing it. If you see gaps or bulges, unwind it and go back and do it over. Because you don't want that in your wreath. Especially if you're giving these away or selling them. But anyway, I got my tags back a few days ago. My price tags, because they collect the tags at the registers. And I sold out of almost everything. Now, in all fairness, I did not have a huge amount in the show, but I did not expect that much of a success, so I was really, really happy with everything. So everything I showed in my series for the craft fair and items that I showed in my Halloween series, like my pumpkin treat totes, my cauldron treat totes, my Halloween photo boxes, they all sold out. The only items that I had left were 5 Christmas ornaments, and they were the 8-point paper stars, which I will also post a link below to that. I only had 5 of those left. And my beach themed photo holders, I had 6 of those left. So I did fantastic. For my first jury show, I was super excited, and I'm just really, really happy with this success. If you guys hear that noise, I'm very sorry, but there are people, the maintenance guys are out here already this morning. I mean the lawnmower guys. So they're right out my window here. So I'm sorry about that. So when you get to this point where you just have a little bit left, you kind of want to measure it and then trim that off and save this. We're going to be making a bow for our wreath, which is like the star of our show. Okay, so when you cut it, you want to pull nice and tight. Oh, I have a little, see how I have this little piece here? I'm going to trim that off. Don't want that. Didn't realize I made that. Okay, I'm going to add hot glue to the edge here. So sorry, I hope it's not really loud in the camera. If it starts getting super loud, I will shut the camera off and restart. Okay, so that's nice and wrapped. Now this part we're going to hide with our bow, so don't worry about seeing that there. But the whole entire wreath is wrapped with our ribbon. Let's create our hanger. All I did was take some jute. I'm going to say about 6 inches. You can make yours smaller if you want, or larger. But you're going to need a good 6 inches to get around your wreath. And actually, let's do longer. That's not enough. Let's do 10 inches, okay? Do a 10-inch piece of jute, because my fingers. And I'm just, this is how I did this last one here. I'm just tying a knot if I can. Oh, look at that big bulky piece. Do you guys see that? I don't like that. Let's try that again. Let's find a nice section here of 10 inches. Right now I'm measuring, guys. I'm sorry. Okay. That's a nicer piece. There's like this big fat piece that frayed there. But hey, it's the Dollar Tree, so I'm not going to complain. So I have my 10-inch piece, and basically what I did was wrapped it around, and I'm just going to tie a knot. So I grabbed the two pieces and twist and tie. It's early morning, so I'm praying my fingers work, and they did. Woohoo! Okay, and now I'm just going to trim off the excess, and we have our hanger, which you guys can see right here on the wreath. Okay, it's just a simple one, but it works. Okay, so we have our hanger, and then down where we wrapped it is where I'm going to put the bow, so I'm just going to aim the hanger this way. So let's peel off the rest of the ribbon. And basically, what I did was, whoa, my camera just fell. Very sorry. Okay, I'm going to move this so you can see better. This is the amount we have left. So as you can see, I'm basically gathering up. There's a piece here that's bent. I don't love that, so I'm going to cut that off. But basically, I just twisted the two like that, and then join this together, and then you can pinch them. Okay, super simple bow to create. And then you take your chenille stem, wrap it around, pull super tight, and twist in the back, so you're joining your ribbon together. Okay, and you just kind of want to fix it up a little bit, and then I'm going to fold these two pieces together, and from the 2 points that I fold, I'm going to angle a little bit and cut like that. Okay, fold the two pieces together, and from the folds, I'm just going to angle it, and then we have our points. Sorry, this side ended up much shorter than the other side. Let me try that again. See, sometimes, guys, you gotta make adjustments, and that's okay. Don't just settle for, it looks alright, you know? Take it apart and redo it if you have to. Like I just did, because I didn't like the look of that. Okay, gather it, twist in the back, super simple bow, because we're going to be putting a pine cone in the center. Okay, we made our tails, so let's get rid of that. And then the excess here, you could always do a larger chenille stem and wrap it around your wreath, but I'm going to hot glue my bow onto my wreath. Make it a little bit easier for myself. So down here where we wrapped, so that we don't see that, is where I'm going to add my bow. I'm going to add some hot glue in the center where we have our chenille stem, and a little bit outside on the sides of the ribbon here, and plop that down. Hold that a second. Anyway, I was really super happy about everything that I sold, and I'm going to be getting my check at my next crafty ladies meeting, which is on the 13th, so I'm very excited about that because I'm going to use it for Christmas presents for people. And yeah, I'm really excited. Anyway, I will post a link below to my Halloween series because there was a lot of craft fair items in there I used. And I actually talk about it when I'm doing the tutorials. Okay, so that's it so far. And then also, I'm starting a new series today. Tags, bags, boxes, and bows. So come back and check that out. The first one I'm going to make, I think, is going to be a treat box for Thanksgiving, which could kind of be a table favor as well. Okay, so before we do our pine cone here, I'm going to want to put my poinsettia, I don't know, however you want to say it on each side. So I'm just going to pop 2 of them off of the stem. And then also, I got rid of this green piece here. I'm not in love with this plastic piece. And then I also trimmed a little bit of this green stem off so that I could just hot glue, move my ribbon here, and pop it under. Okay. So I'm going to add hot glue to that green section and right around it. You guys can see that. And then I'm going to kind of pop it behind the ribbon sideways. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. We're popping this part off. We're trimming this stem. You're still leaving like a little piece of the stem. We just don't need it as big. Adding hot glue around the green stem and on the green stem. And that way it'll keep your poinsettia together. I'm pulling up this loop here. And I'm kind of gluing it on sideways. There a little bit. Okay. So the next thing on the side of the ribbon, what I did was I cut this green piece off here, the 3 pieces. So I'm going to go in and cut that with my wire cutters. And then I also took from this stem this big green leaf here. Let me get in there and trim that out. Okay, because we're going to lay that here. And then I also cut off a couple berries. And I cut them up in little sections. Okay, because we're going to be cutting most of the berries off and using them on both sides of the wreath. This little cutter is not sharp enough. I'm going to have to get my big ones out. Either that or my hands are just super weak. Okay, cut those pieces off. So let's set our berries aside. We have this green leaf and these 3 we're going to put on this side. And then I cut this one off right here on the right. I'm going to use that on the left side of my wreath. And I'm also going to use the little baby pine cone on the left side of the wreath. And I'm going to use this big pine cone in the center of my bow. Alright, as also for the poinsettias, I took off the greens from a couple of the stems. So you have 3 leaves here, and I'm going to pop those in. I'm just going to cut those off. I'm going to pop these leaves in here and there throughout the wreath wherever I think it might need them. So you're going to pop this green piece off, the plastic, you don't need that. Cut the bottom off so that it gives you the 3 leaves that you can put in throughout your wreath, wherever you think you need them. Okay, so I'm going to get started with placing my leaf down, and my stem. I'm going to lift up my poinsettia here and check that out. And I like the way that looks. So I'm going to glue the leaf to my greens here a little. Then behind, I'm going to add hot glue. And I'm going to pull my poinsettia down. And I'm just going to tuck that in behind. Whoops. And hold that down for a minute. Be nice to have one of those silicone finger things, you know, so you don't catch your fingers in there. And then I'm going to pop a little, oh, let me make sure I got this really nice and glued in there. There we go. Probably going to pop a red berry in here. Maybe this nice thick bunch up in there. Just make sure that's hot glued nicely. These wreaths are so fun because it's all personal preference, what you think looks good. You don't have to do it, you know, exactly like I'm doing mine. But basically I'm adding hot glue to the back of some of the berries, and I'm just gluing it down to that leaf. You want to, oop, see, it's a little hot. Hold it nice and tight there. And that's kind of it for that side. I'm going to take my big old pine cone that I cut off, add a pretty decent amount of hot glue. That's going to go in the center of my ribbon here. Okay, and now we're going to work on the left side. And basically I did the same thing over here. I'm just going to kind of twist this a little bit so it kind of follows the shape of the wreath. I'm going to add hot glue to the back, pull back my poinsettia a little bit and tuck it in. And I kind of want some balance across with my greens going up this way. Okay, I want balance here. So I don't want to go too much higher with this green. So I made sure I tucked it in pretty nice and tight against the poinsettia underneath. And then I am going to put these leaves throughout. So just put a little bit of hot glue on the back of that one. And I'll pop that one in underneath. I'm going to take another one. Hot glue on the back and pop that in. Ooh, maybe a little bit lower, and I'll do that on this side as well. Okay, so you guys see how I popped in my greens underneath. My leaves are underneath this green part, and I like the look of that, so I'm going to take this green part, lift it up, add a little bit of hot glue, and push that back down. Hold that there for a second. And I want some berries in here. So like I said, I'm just adding hot glue to the stem and back of the berries and just tucking them into that green. I love doing flower arrangements and wreaths. It's just so fun for me to do. Okay, let me get this one, hot glue. You gotta kind of play around with what works for you as well. And then I think I'm going to put this little pine cone down there. I kind of like that. Get some hot glue on here. Pull back my poinsettia, put in the pine cone, and lay it back down. That's pretty much it for the greens and the poinsettias. Okay, now we're going to add our ornament. I might pop some more leaves in too. I got like, whoa, sorry guys, I bumped my camera. Terrible at that. I'm always bumping it. There we go. I have some greens here. I might add in a few, lift my leaves up. See where I think I might need some more fullness to the wreath. But I gotta tell you, for a Dollar Tree item, looks pretty decent. Maybe I'll put one in here. Yeah, I think I might like that, but I want to trim this piece off here a little bit. And, ow, geez, I'm really burning myself today, guys. I think I like that in there. Okay. All right, so now what I did was I cut the tag off up here. You want to cut this hanger. Oh, it pulled right out. Look at that. I didn't even have to cut it. And then we're going to want to glue this on. And what I did was I kind of glued mine at an angle. So make sure your hanger is kind of in line with your pine cone. And then see where you want to put your sentiment. And I'm going to put hot glue back here. And I think in here, this is the tougher one to do because you really got to hold this for a little bit. Plus I'm getting glitter on my fingers. I hate that. This one's not too bad. The glitter doesn't like crazily rub off. But in sections where it did, where you can see like the black showing through, I went ahead and I used my glitter glue and I kind of filled in the spots, which you're going to want to do when you're gluing this down. Put some hot glue in there. Let me get another glue stick, because you really want to make sure this is held on nicely. Go in there, put some glitter, or put some hot glue and hold. And then in here, this one popped up on me. Let me hold that back down. It takes a minute to dry. So I'm going to put some more right in there. Really want to make sure you get enough. Okay, and that's it, guys. That is the tutorial on the wreath. And the only difference between this one and this one is I went ahead with my glitter glue and I just kind of accented, see how I accented my leaf with the glitter glue. I did it on this leaf and I did it on some of these berries. On my pine cone, I went in and accented it with glitter. And that takes a little while to dry. But the reason why I did that, if you can see on this wreath, a lot of the red has come off of these styrofoam berries. And I didn't like that white showing through. So I went ahead and I put glitter glue over those pieces so you couldn't see that. If you don't want to use the gold glitter, and the only reason I used gold was because this was gold. You could accent this whole thing with little specks of the Deco Art Snow Tex. That also looks really pretty, just adding in little pieces of snow. And what I mean by that is if you look at this pine cone, see how that already has some Snow Tex on it? Little pieces of snow. You could do that throughout your wreath as well. So that's it for the tutorial, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to post all the links below to the series and the tutorials that I had mentioned in the beginning of the video. And I hope you guys have fun making yours. Now, if you sell these at a craft fair, you got to be careful. Like the wreath was $1. The ornament was $1. Each of my flower stems was $1. And the ribbon was $1. So this whole thing cost me $5. For me, I wouldn't pay more than $15 at a craft fair for this. Only because I know I could make it. But the pricing and all that is up to you and how much you want to charge in your area. I would most likely sell this probably for $12 to $14 at my show. No more than $15. And I think they would probably, I know I sold similar ones that went like hotcakes for those prices. So, you know, it just depends on what you want to charge for your area. But this took no time at all to put together. So if you think about it, you can make a whole lot of these in a short period of time. So it won't take you that much time. But I am going to go in and I'm going to accent it with more glitter. And probably use this as a Christmas gift for somebody. So, and I'm going to ship that one out. That's hanging on my wall up there. That was the one I made for the original Hop series. And that's going out in the mail soon. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Take care and stay tuned for my new series, Tags, Bags, Boxes, and Bows. Thanks for watching.